welcome back to the channel. So on today's episode, we're going to be showing you guys how to install headlight bulbs, the LED style version of them, on the 2010 to 2019 Dodge Ram 1500, 2500, or 3500. We're also going to show you how to remove water out of the headlights themselves. One of our headlights has some sort of leaking issues from the rubber gaskets or some part of the headlight casing itself, but we're going to go ahead and show you guys how to go ahead and remove the water out of them, reseal them, and upgrade everything to LED lights. So let's get started. So here's a Dodge Ram. As you can see, this light right here is pretty clear and everything looks good, but as you come across this light, it looks like we have some sort of moisture issue going on in here. You can see there's, it's not outside, it's from the inside. So there's some moisture that's going inside of it. Same with this fog light down here, which indicates two things. One, some headlights might have a venting issue where the vents get clogged up or something like that. But they should, go away after a while. But it's been like this for about a week now. So we might have a crack in the seal or some sort of sealing issue. And I'm going to take it off and I'm going to show you guys firsthand on camera what it looks like. Same with this fog light right over here. We're having the same issue on both these fog lights. So we're gonna go ahead and just pull everything apart and show you guys how to get those headlights off the truck, as well as how to go ahead and reseal those headlights and upgrade the lights from the little standard halogen bulbs to LEDs. And the LEDs would be so nice. So let's go over and see what we got. What you're gonna need is to order some LED bulbs, and we got the Farron's off Amazon. It's a really good brand and a really good LED light bulb. They got over 3,000 reviews on them, and we've personally used them before as well. Also, Alki, I believe that's how you say it. These LED bulbs also are really good. So let's go ahead, and first step is to remove the headlight off the truck and go ahead and see why we're having water in them, and go ahead and remove the water off that light and those two lights right there. All right guys, so what you're gonna go ahead and need is you're gonna need a adapter that goes into the gun, like one of these, an extension, and also a 10mm socket. You're also gonna need a Phillips screwdriver, and a flathead is also good to have with you. But let's go ahead and go over to the truck and go ahead and show you guys what we're gonna need to do. So first, you're gonna go ahead and remove these little, they're plastic little clips. You thread them out and you pop them out. And that's gonna go ahead and remove this heavy duty bezel out of here. We've got a few of them out already, but there's one right here. There is also one right here and one right here. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this out. Right after that, we're gonna remove the grill. We got one bolt here, one that's underneath this cover, one more underneath this cover, and one right here. So we're gonna go ahead and remove that grill, and it's gonna give us more access to those lights. Let's go ahead and do it. Removed, and also that bezel that's up there. Now you can kind of see how much more room it gives us for the lights. We have one bolt here and one over here, and that'll give us the front axis of the lights to be removed. And there's one more bolt that's also, it's not a bolt, it's a little clip that goes back over here by the fender liner. You stick your hand in there and there's a little clip. Once I take off this light, I will go ahead and show you guys what that clip looks like. All you do is you pull down on the clip and that light will come right off. But let's go ahead and pull that light off, and pull both the lights off actually, and the fog lights as well. We went ahead and got the lights removed. Also, I got this fog light on this side removed. As you can see, there was some water in that one as well. The fog lights are pretty simple to remove off this truck. There is two 10mm bolts that are holding the bracket. One right here and one more right there on that little side. And the easiest way to do it is you can get a ratchet. That's what I ended up having to get, is a ratchet with no extension. And just go ahead underneath there and take out the bolts. There's a lot more access room down there without that big bulky gun over there. So yeah, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about, guys. So let's go out underneath here. So here's what I'm talking about, guys. You guys can see that there is one bolt that goes right up here, and there's one other bolt that is right there. These are the two that you need to remove, and once you remove this, that light itself will come all out. As you can see, I already had loosened that one. But now that light is loose and we can take it out. What I want to do is tilt the light this way. Take a look at these little vents. These are your vent tubes for your headlights. And you want to make sure the inside of those are free of any debris or anything else that we may have encountered. Let me get a close-up view for you guys. You can see there's one right here. We don't have any debris in there. And there's also another one right there. No debris in that one either. So it looks like our issue is actually a silicone gasket issue that we're probably gonna have to reseal around these lights. But before we do that, let's find out where the leak is actually coming from so we can be 100%. And the way you do that is you go ahead and grab an air nozzle from your compressor, and you want to clog one of these up and shoot some air into one of these while spraying some soapy water solution around the casing area of the light so you can see where the bubbles are coming from. Once you do that, you can see where the bubble's coming from. That's where your leak is at. You want to go ahead and just reseal everything anyways, but then you know you're 100% good to go. Is grab some soap and water. In our case, I just put some soap and water in here and mixed it up in an old sprayer bottle. Let's put that there. And the way I'm going to do this is I've already blocked off, there was actually 3 ports on here. I already blocked off 2 of the ports, and I'm going to leave one open. We're going to go ahead and want to plug these vents off. I plugged this one already, and there's actually 3 vents on this headlight, and I've plugged up the other light as well, the other vent as well. So what we're going to do is there's one open vent right here. You can see that one right there. I've made a little contraption here, and it's basically tape wrapped around an air nozzle gun. And what we're gonna do is go ahead and plug this nozzle into that vent and spray some soapy liquid solution around the headlight and see exactly where it's gonna be bubbling from. That's exactly where our lens is at. And don't worry, this is not dashing glass cleaner. This is an old bottle. We went ahead and mixed some soap and water in there, and you can spray it, and it's good like any other sprayer. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So you guys can see, that's exactly where our leak was at. That's where it was bubbling from. And we just have a bad seal between the lens and the actual housing of the headlight. You can kind of see, I mean, you won't even be able to tell, you know, without this trick. But using this trick, you can figure it out pretty quickly. Now that we found the moisture issue that's causing moisture to be inside the headlights, let's figure out why we have moisture inside these fog lights. We're gonna go ahead and do the same exact thing. On these, let's look for the vents first. I don't see any vents on here. So I'm thinking most of our issue for this was probably the same thing is the sealant that goes around here. Over time they do go bad, or sometimes they're just poorly sealed from the factory. Let's go ahead and do the same thing. In the case of our fog lights, on one of them, it's leaking from right here in this area. And what we're gonna have to do is go ahead and just seal that up with some silicone, and we should be good to go. We'll have an airtight seal on the fog lights as well. Now what we have to do is go ahead and get all the water out of here. All right, so we got most of the water off the lens. Now what we're gonna be doing is we wanna get some heat applied on these. This one, I almost got all the water off the lens just with the air gun. But there's still small amounts of little droplets inside of there. So what we're gonna go ahead and do now is go ahead and take these two fog lights and also the two, well, only the one headlight inside the house, so you can put them inside, you know, your garage or something that has heat inside. Like your house would be ideal. And just let them sit overnight and they should all clear up. But the other way you can do it is if you're in a shop area like me and you want to get these things done pretty quickly, what you want to do is grab a car, and then what you want to do is turn the heat all the way to the highest setting and leave the heat on the highest setting blowing towards you. Then you just want to grab your lights, throw them inside the car, and in about 20 to 25 minutes while the car is running, the lights should be all dried up. So let's go ahead and toss these in there and see what happens in about 25 minutes. Just touching the window, it's nice and warm. Wow, it's toasty in here. Take a look at those lights, guys. They all cleared up. There is no more water inside. Same with the fog lights. Both of them. There's no water inside. And no one ever uses this way of doing this. They always recommend to use a heat gun and stuff like that, but this is honestly the easiest way of doing it. Just throw them in there, turn the heater on high for about 25 minutes, and go eat some lunch or something and come back to cleared up lights that are ready to be resealed. So now that the headlights have fully dried up, we're gonna reseal them using the Permatex Clear Adhesive Sealant. This stuff works really good. You can use it for interior and exterior. It seals and insulates, and it's also weather resistant. So let's go ahead and start the sealing process. The way we're gonna do this is we're gonna go ahead and seal the outer edges all around the light, and same with the headlight, and we're just gonna leave it there. And overnight, it'll be 100% cured, so we can reinstall and put our LED lights and everything else in there as well. So we just went around the whole entire headlight, got it all sealed up, and the reason we put tape is so we can get a nice clean line. Now what we're gonna do is take off this tape. Alright guys, so now what we're gonna go ahead and do is install our LED bulbs. I got one of them on there. They're just two screws right here, and you can pop off the bulb itself. And the other one's down here, same thing, two screws that are holding the bulb, and pop the bulb off and put the new one in. So now we got one of our LED bulbs actually installed already, and we just got one more to go. These are your low and high beams. Pretty easy to do. One Phillips screw over here, one Phillips screw over here, and same thing on the other side. Take it out, put the bulb back in. So let's go ahead and do that. So now that we got the bulbs both in there, you can see there's fans behind them. That's what's going to help cool them down. You want to go ahead and plug these connectors back in. So there's that one. Make sure they clip. This one's already connected as well. And what you want to do is go ahead and tuck these somewhere. That way they're not, touching the light or anything like that. In my case, it's better to tuck them down below as I have more room on my headlight housing. So I'm just going to go ahead and tuck them in here before I put the cover back on. Last thing you want is the wires to get caught in the fan of some sort or have some sort of issue. So I'm just going to go ahead and tuck mine in there. Now we're all good. Grab this cover back, and we're going to go ahead and put this cover back on there. Put the screws on there and go ahead and tighten them all down, and this light is done. Alright guys, so we went ahead and got both those lights installed, the headlights and everything. Now is a good time to go ahead and test them out and make sure they all work. In our case, we already did, so we're just going to show you the final results. Let's go ahead and put that grill back on, and then I'll do the fog lights. So here is our daytime running lights. This is our low beam headlights, our fog lights, and our high beams. Another cool thing this truck has that we've already done before this video is the LED light bar. That paired with the headlights, the fog lights, or the high beams is very bright. Alright guys, so that's a wrap for today's video. I hope that really helped you guys. Anytime you want to get moisture out of your headlamps or fog lamps or anything like that, the easiest way to do them is go ahead and put that pressure tester on there like we showed you. It'll show you exactly where the leak's coming from, that way you're not guessing. But if this video was any help to you guys, go ahead and leave a comment, like, and hit that notification bell to subscribe. And that way you can also see when our next video is out for anything else that we may be working on. Thank you guys so much.